Good morning, hello, and welcome to This Day in History, aka TDH. This show is all about what happened to date through the annals of history, or recorded history. Join us as we delve into yesteryear, not only for interesting and important happenings, but possibly even answer questions you don't even know you have. The sources of this information come from the smart device application Today in History, What Happened Today in History, historical calendar, and the website onthisday.com. For links to those sources and music in the background and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar of the description below. Anyway, I am Xander, and today I'm joined by...
MTM.
Welcome, welcome. It's always a treat to have you on the show. You know, few and far between.
So. Always a treat to be here.
Yes.
Scarcity creates demand, right?
Yeah, exactly, right there. So, and I guess you'd be the MTM standard, you know? Anyway,
I like that.
Yeah, today is Thursday, aka Thursday, July 27th, 2023. The last show I said it was August already. I'm like, no, like, I don't know why. I have a problem remembering what month it is. It's weird. Like, and then there's like June, July, January. You know, you start getting into the J's, you start mixing those around, I guess. If you
well, our whole calendar is messed up, for lack of a better word, because of certain Roman emperors who wanted their name to be named after the best month, which is summertime.
Like Julius Caesar with July.
Julius
Augustus
and,
with August.
June and July, actually. Well, I think August makes sense, right? It's
for Augustus.
It's only two off because November is supposed to be 9, but it's 11.
Wait a minute, that sounds like the basis for a conspiracy theory right there.
Nueve is Spanish for 9, but November is the 11th month. And then ocho is Spanish for 8th, but it's the 10th month. And dies is Spanish or is Latin for 10.
And now, hold on a second. I want to go back to this. I want to go back to this November thing. So you're saying like it's 9 and it's also 11. But what came
in Latin nuevo ocho is 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 8, 9, 10. That's how you count to 10.
Okay.
But November is the 11th month. Is what I'm saying. So it's off by 2 because of the 2 inserted names in the calendar.
I was trying to build up a joke, but I failed spectacularly. Yeah. Anyway, let's get into history today, shall we? Do you want to start us off in 432?
432. Saint Celestine I ends his reign as Catholic Pope.
Huh. All right. And that's a... sneeze. Sorry. Like, that brings up a thing. Like, I think it was Loki who noticed that more often than not, we always start with a pope. Like the first thing in recorded history on that day is either something involving, like, the beginning of a reign, or today the ending of a reign, or, like, some kind of pope activity. Or, in the very least, they're, like, within the top 5. It is kind of weird.
I guess you could call that a Pope-a-normal activity.
Hold on a second. That deserves this. There we go. I had to. Anyway, what do we got here? The Battle of Bovines, huh? Sounds like a beef.
Yeah, a big beef to be had in 1214 is the Battle of Bovines. King Philip II of France versus the Holy Roman Empire, Otto IV, and King John of England. As a result, John lost Normandy and his other possessions in France, hence his nickname, John of Lackland.
Ha! And that explains, because I know that Normandy was the last, I believe it was Normandy, that was the last British-held section on mainland Europe, and then France took it. So that's interesting. So that's when they took it. Cool. Well, not cool for the French, but yeah.
Yeah.
I think you might enjoy 1280 for your third.
Sojin Mugaku, founder of the Ingakuji Temple, arrives in Japan from China.
Huh. All right. Let's see here.
Wonder what I wonder what he practices. What kind of temple that is.
I don't know. Let's look that up here. Sogen Mugaku. Copy. Open up and goggle. Let's see here. Also known as Buko Kukushi, was a prominent Zen Buddhist monk of the 13th century in Japan, and emigre from Song Dynasty. He was an advisor to Japan's most powerful ruler of the day, the regent of the Shogun Hojo Tokimune. Okay.
Yeah, Zen and Renzai Zen are like the two most popular sects of Buddhism in Japan, actually.
All right. We got the first use of quarantine here in 1377. The first example of quarantine in Ragusa, which is now Dubrovnik. City Council passed law saying newcomers from plague areas must isolation for 30 days, which was later 40 days, quarantana in Italian. So quarantana, which is the invention of the word quarantine, which means in Italian 40 days of quarantine. Like, yeah, it's Italian.
Yeah.
Who'd have thunk it?
Quattro is 4.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
In Espanol or Spanish. Multiple languages.
Yeah, Italian stuff.
Yeah. We got a Copernicus becomes a canon. What? In 1501, Nicholas Copernicus formally installed as an Augustan canon on Freiburg Cathedral at Frombork. Okay, it's obviously a some kind of religious thing. Or I wonder if because he's Copernicus, if he flew too close to the sun, did he transform into an actual firearm? That's a question. Canon regular. The Augustine canons regular established 116 religious houses in Ireland in the period of church reform early in the 12th century. Huh. Okay.
Canon with 2 ends is the weapon. Canon with 1 end is means true or factual
canonical.
or
okay.
correct. Yeah.
I never thought about it that way, but yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Seems like more letters means you want more of it. Desert is a dry, boring place, but dessert, and you want more of it, right? So there's 2 S's.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you know what? Like, to counter that point, USSR or USA. All right. Anyway, Soen, welcome to the show. And he is muted as per usual. There he is.
What?
How you doing?
Okay.
Good. Gonna move on up here to 1549. We have the first Christian missionary in Japan, Jesuit priest Francis Xavier, reached Japan but is not permitted to enter any port until 15th of August. Huh. I wonder if
Japan
that was...
has a history of
isolationism.
Closing themselves, isolationism, to promote cultural homogeny.
Because they think they are a superior, thing. Like it's, like all Asian nations do it. All European nations used to do that. I guess some areas still do that. Some of the former Eastern Bloc countries, they still hate each other. So,
Right,
anyway,
yeah, they don't like sports too much either. But
yeah. Mr. Soen, if you would like, we got a 1586 here for you.
Sure. 1586, Walter Raleigh brings
Raleigh, I believe that's pronounced.
Brings the first tobacco to England from Virginia.
Ooh.
They get introduced to smoking.
Yikes. Let's see here. Those 2 other highlighted ones are, if you want to take those, they don't seem that particularly interesting. Hold on, 1655 though.
Okay, hold on.
All right. Let's move on up to MTM. Do you want to take 1655? The first one.
Sure. The Netherlands and Brandenburg. Oh, you said 1655, or do you want me to read
the first one? The first 1655.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The Jews of New Amsterdam petitioned for a Jewish cemetery.
Well, that makes you wonder, like, were they not permitted in the other cemeteries, or do they want to segregate themselves?
Yeah, it's probably for organizational purposes, right? So you get a headstone with the Star of David on it, as opposed to like a headstone with a cross.
That'd be like, are there Christian only cemeteries? Like,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much, yes.
All right. Oh, I'm just flabbergasted. Like, segregation is still happening. That's it's weird. Anyway, what else do we have here? 1789.
Scroll all the way down to 1789. Gotcha. The U.S. Congress establishes the Department of Foreign Affairs, now referred to as the State Department.
Huh. All right.
Yes.
And then for your third, the one directly after that, Maximilian.
Maximilian Robespierre is overthrown in the coup in Paris.
What year was that?
1794.
All right. He was executed by guillotine.
Yeah, this is when the crazy stuff starts happening in France, actually.
What do you mean starts? It's never stopped. Like, look at it. What's going on today? Like, dude, have you seen that video of like the people?
The zoo animals running around, or the...
No. Like parts of sections of people not attached to themselves anymore, lining the streets everywhere. Like, not good. Like.
My days.
Yeah. Like. Yeah, not like. I'm trying not to say the words, but yeah, essentially, there's Lego people all over the place, like, yeah.
We should have a like a Lego character dying sound effect on the soundboard, like a.
Oh yeah.
The breaking bricks.
Well, I do have. Is this the one? Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Not to mock the French, they're really going through some stuff right now. But anyway, let's move on up here. What else do we got? Let's go to 1830. The July Revolution breaks out in Paris, opposing the laws of King Charles X. What were we just talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, those French.
Revolution de France.
Those French. They're always revolting. But we also have 1844. Fire destroys U.S. Mint at Charlotte, North Carolina.
That's really funny because it opened just a few years before that in 1837.
Huh. That's interesting. Then let's see here. Let's give this one here. 1866. Mr. Sohan.
1866.
Yeah, the cable one.
I'll do 1861 first.
All right.
Union General George McClellan takes command from McDowell of Potomac Army.
All right. George McClellan. That's a name like way in the back of my mind. Kind of familiar somewhat. Huh.
Now, 1866. The first Transatlantic Telegraph cable comes ashore at Heart's Content, Newfoundland, and after being laid out 1,686 miles by Estambar Kingdom, now Great Eastern Steamship.
Wow, can you fathom that? Like, they are laying cables across the Atlantic Ocean while the Civil War is happening. That is wild. Like, wow. Wow. Ooh, 1888.
1888. Phil Pratt unveils first American electric tricycle.
Electric tricycle. Huh. Dang. And here I am, like, thinking the kids today are lazy with their electric bikes and scooters and all that stuff. No pedaling required. It's just like, what are you doing with that amateur motorcycle, kid? You get some exercise. Someone, you have another one if you want, although I see you're muted, so I guess we'll skip over to MTM, question mark. All right, go for it, dude.
In 1890, Dutch painter Vincent van Gogh shoots himself in the Alvarez sur Oise and dies of injuries 2 days later.
That's tragic. That's very tragic. Yikes.
A little too much absinthe there, buddy.
Yeah. Well, this is the same guy who cut off his own ear, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he needed help. He really, really badly needed help. So, yikes.
All the best artists have fucking mental disorders.
True.
Seems like it, doesn't it? Yeah.
Anyway, you got two 1909s, the British ship, and then military airplane. Go for it.
British ship SS Warta is last seen en route from Durban to Cape Town. 211 on board are missing, and no trace of the ship ever was found.
Yikes.
In 1909, Orville Wright successfully tests the Wright Military Flyer, the world's first military airplane, making a record flight of 1 hour and 12 minutes and 40 seconds, flying approximately 64 kilometers or 40 miles.
That's... Pardon me. That hurt. God, I don't know what happened. That's not bad for that back then. Holy crap.
No.
That's really good. And I apologize for that coughing. Like, for those who do not know, I have permanent scarring in my lungs from when I was a sandblaster. And every now and then, much like how a sneeze sometimes creeps up on you, I could be talking and all of a sudden that. So. Anyway, we're going to move on up here. Let's see here. We got 1918 Socody 200, the first concrete barge in the U.S., was launched to carry oil in New York. So, the magics of buoyancy. You can make something out of a super heavy, dense material, but as long as the water it displaces is more than the air, then it will not sink, or something, or more than the load it has. It's buoyancy is very interesting physics. What else do we have here? Oh man, here we go. 1919, a Chicago race riot. 15 whites and 23 blacks were killed, with an additional 500 people injured. Yikes. We've been discussing several race riots the past couple shows, and I guess it's race riot season or something. I don't know. Because this is around the same time, the whole, Floyd stuff started popping off, right, a couple years ago, and then now, as we said earlier, France is going crazy. So it's not just race riots; it's just riot season. It reminds me, I know I'm kind of going off on a little bit of a tangent here, but it reminds me, there's a movie where this lady, I think it's called The Call, or Dispatch or something. It's about this dispatch operator in the 911 center, and at the beginning of the movie, they're talking about how when the temperatures rise, people get more violent, and it's really interesting. The psychology of people. When the temperatures rise, they get more violent, and they do. So, kind of goes along with, it's riot season or something.
Makes people crazy.
True.
Indeed.
Yeah. Anyway, we have the discovery of insulin here in 1921. Frederick Banting and Charles Best isolated insulin at the University of Toronto. All right. Insulin. And back to you, Mr. MTM. I'm trying to find something interesting for you, unless there's something that you find yourself. But 1929, just because that's a really long word, if you want to take that.
The Dyke of Werdergringermerpolder is finished.
Nice. Oh, 1931, the second one.
Chilean President Carlos Ibanez forced out.
Ah. Well, I meant that other one, but more coups in Chile.
Grasshoppers?
Yeah.
In Iowa and Nebraska, South Dakota destroyed thousands of acres of crops.
Yikes. Ooh. And 1940, Billboard. Actually, take both of them.
Billboard magazine starts publishing bestseller charts.
Ah.
And Bugs Bunny, Warner Brothers cartoon character, created by Tex Avery, Bob Gibbons, Looney Tunes and Merry Melody series, first debuts in Wild Hair. I believe that is the famous Big Chungus cartoon as well.
I believe so. Hold on a second. Let me.
Where Bugs Bunny is able to change his mask to do an impersonation of Elmer Fudd and going, "Dad, I hold him."
Let's see here. I think you're right. Yeah, this looks like it. Looks like the I'm trying to see if they actually have like Big Chungus on here, but I'm not seeing it.
If you type in Big Chungus in the thing, it'll.
And the origin of Big Chungus is created by Sterling coined by Chunky. Oh God, I'm not going to read that. Well, it's not telling me exactly, but I believe you're right. But
That's
yeah.
like the same, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, let's see here. 1941, German army entered Ukraine, obviously during the Second World War.
Occupy Ukraine.
Oh
Never
my
stops.
goodness. Poor Ukraine. 1945, the U.S. Communist Party formed. Yikes.
Yeah, I saw that earlier.
Mm-hmm. And in 1947, New York Yankees catcher Yogi Berra started a record 148-game errorless streak. Yeah, Yogi Berra, one of the greats. He had all these little sayings called Yogiisms. One of them is like "hurry up and wait."
Right.
If you know about any of those?
In New York, nobody drives because there's too much traffic.
Yeah. Ooh.
It's one of my favorites.
1949. Back to you, Mr. MTM.
1949, the first jet-propelled airline, de Havilland Comet, flies.
Ah. Let's take a look at what that looks like, actually. Let's see here. De Havilland Comet images. Oh, yeah, I've seen this. It's that one with, like, the jets built into the wings, not hanging under. So it's kind of like the way the fighters were made.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes sense. Dude, speaking of aircraft and such, have you seen those ones with the circle ring, the wings? Like the wings go like up and then they connect to the top. It's like a giant circle.
I don't believe I can recall.
Well, let's see here.
Whoa.
Yeah, this.
That's a trip to look at.
Ring wings. Yeah, it's weird, dude. Like straight up, like actually, hold on a second.
It looks like something from like Thunderbirds, yeah.
It looks like something out of Johnny Quest.
Yeah, Johnny Quest or Thunderbirds, yeah.
Yeah. And then of course we have our flying saucer, but that's not the ring wing that I was talking about. But yeah, well that's a different project. That's a VTOL, vertical takeoff and landing. But this is straight up just like a straight up plane with a ring wing, and the tail is that's weird. What else do we got here? Ooh, you got a big one.
Yeah, there's a couple things back up. If you scroll up, 1950,
Ooh.
U.S. President Harry Truman promises aid to Taiwan.
Bingo, right there.
Yeah.
Isn't he also the guy who authorized nuking Hiroshima and Nagasaki? I think so, yeah.
Yeah, interesting conflict of interest there. 1953, the North Korean and United Nations signed armistice to stop fighting and divide Korea at the 38th panel as the Korean War ends.
Which is interesting because we're still technically in a state of war. They're just in a ceasefire right now.
Yeah, they're just...
Right now, North Korea and South Korea's ally, us, are still officially in a state of war. Which, like, I've said this before on the show, you know, when Trump just impromptu walked over that line, they had the leader, like not just the leader of a nation that they're at war with, but that on top of like the leader of the quote unquote free world on their territory, and they could have very well justifiably, well not justifiably, but legally done something bad, because they could have said, oh, he's invading. Technically he would be. It's wild.
Another armistice divides a country. Vietnam divided into two countries in 1954. There.
Huh. Yeah, and that's something that's looming. Like a foreshadow. Then we got 1955. Austria regained full independence after 4 power occupations since World War II. Holy crap! Poor Austria. Wow. Richard Nixon nominated in 1960. U.S. Vice President Richard Nixon nominated for presidential candidate at Republican convention in Chicago.
Nixon.
I am not a crook. It only says no body. I don't have a body. My last one was riddled with phlebitis.
Yeah.
1962, Martin Luther King Jr. was jailed in Albany, Georgia. Yep. And let's get back to you, Mr. MTM. 1965. Here we go.
Right after the Belgian government is formed by Pierre Harmel, Cigarette Labeling and Advertising Act is enacted by President Lyndon B. Johnson, who signed a bill requiring cigarette makers to print health warnings on all cigarette packages about the effects of smoking. It's the Surgeon General's warning.
Well, you know, doing that was only because you know how we have stupid labels just a few generations ago, and I'm referring to a specific meme, how your vehicle's handbook would tell you how to jump starts the piston or whatever. Now it's telling you not to drink the fluids, in the radiator.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, if you're sitting there and you're sucking on something and you're blowing out smoke, clearly, it's probably not good for you.
My friends and I had a hardware store in our old neighborhood, and we used to make a game out of it, how many stupid warning labels we could find. And my 2 personal favorites are on the air horn, there's a no sign through a picture of a person holding an air horn right up to their ear. And the other one is in big gallon drum paint buckets, there's a little toddler's legs sticking out of the top kicking, and there's a no sign through that.
Huh.
Don't dump your babies in the paint bucket, guys.
Who's dumping babies in paint buckets? That's ridiculous.
Bad parents.
Anyway, for the sake of time, let's move on up. Ooh, here, 1976. Unless there's something that you see.
No.
Oh, wait a minute. 1972. I almost skipped that. Whoops.
The F-15 Eagle flies for the first time.
All right, let's take a look at this bird. Maybe it'll have normal wings. Oh, yeah, it has normal wings. All right, cool. They're not a donut. It's not a flying donut. But yeah, cool. That's a pretty bird. Then what else we got? Going up to this Lennon one.
John Lennon gets a green card. The former Beatle John Lennon is granted green card for permanent residence in U.S. He doesn't have a hole in his pocket anymore.
Huh. What year was that?
1976.
All right. And let's see here. 1982. Actually, 1980. A Palestinian threw a hand grenade on Jewish children in Antwerp. 1 dead. Wow. Why are we grenading children? What's going on? That's not cool. 2 years after that, 1982, Alan Menken and Howard Ashman's musical Little Shop of Horrors opened off Broadway at the Orpheum Theater in New York City. All right. That's a good movie. Well, so I have, while I was going on in 1982 as well, Indian Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, no relation to Mahatma Gandhi, first visited to the U.S. in almost 11 years. Cool. But yeah, no, that is something we actually looked up on a show. She has no relation to Mahatma. No relation. They just happen to share the same last name. We've gone through that with a lot of sports people. We found out that that some were relatives, cousins, brothers. There is several father and son, situations, as well as there's a mother and daughter serving together on some political something or other. So there's a lot of interesting things out there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Let's move on up. What do we got here? Oh, 1987. Do you want to take that one? The first one?
The first expedited salvaging of Titanic wreck begins by RMS Titanic Incorporated.
Ah, interesting. Wasn't there something involving the Titanic recently? Like the death toll went up somehow. And we shouldn't be joking about that. Rest in peace to most of those people.
Should have used a better controller. Should have used the Steam Deck.
Oh my god. Can you imagine? Like, hell, a Zune would probably have been better. You remember Zune?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Microsoft's attempt to get an MP3 player out to compete with Apple's iPod.
I think it was actually the carelessness. A couple of people have dug up footage of like the guys that were demonstrating the submarine and just tossing the controller about in the submarine carelessly.
Wow. So maybe their controller did break or something.
Yeah, that's what I think. Blame the controller, not the player.
Huh. Anyway, you got some film and TV history in 1990.
Oh, okay. Zaza Gabor begins a 3-day jail sentence for slapping a police officer in Beverly Hills. Wonder what that was over.
Because she was one of these uppity celebrities. It's like she thinks she's above the law, so she like slapped him or something like that. I think we spoke about it 3 days ago. You know, 3 days ago. What was that? Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. So yeah, we did. We spoke about it on Monday. Ooh, you get to talk about Mandela.
In 1992, Nelson Mandela says a general strike will go ahead to a protest for the removal of South African President F.W. de Klerk from power and for free elections.
Yep, F.W. de Klerk, a real strong arm of the apartheid government. Really interesting, because de Klerk had Mandela arrested and in prison for, 20 years? And then we, of course, know about the Mandela effect. Is, people thought he died in prison, but he didn't. All that stuff. And then Mandela himself ended up becoming the president of the very nation that tried to suppress him. Talk about an amazing story, bro. Like, Mandela is one of my inspirations. That guy is really crawling through the mud, and look where he ended up.
He wrote a really beautiful autobiography, actually. Yeah, it's really long though.
What else can I have you read? We got some golf, whatever about that. Musical finale. Why don't you take that one? That's quite a lot of performances. 1997.
Looking over the other things here. 1997, Henry Mancini, Leslie Budosecki, and Blake Edwards' musical adaptation of the film Victor Victoria, starring Julie Andrews, closes at the Marquis Theater in New York City after 738 performances. Wow.
That's pretty good. Ooh.
1999,
Yeah.
Time to party with Tony Hawk, the first skateboarder to land a 900.
I remember that. That was a big deal. It's like, oh my god, he did a 900. Like, what is a 900? Like, how was he in the air that long?
Yeah.
Wild. Like,
He uses the skateboard as a perpetual motion device.
yeah, he turns into a dynamo, just like.
Yeah.
My god, he's so good. He's defying the laws of physics. Let's see here. Moving on up to 2003, we have a group of 321 Filipino armed soldiers called Magdalo took over Oakwood Premier Ayala Center in Makati City to show Filipino people the alleged corruption of the Gloria Macapagal Arellano administration. Yeah, she did some pretty nasty stuff, if memory serves correctly. And then, let's see here, 2005, STS-114, NASA grounded the space shuttle, pending an investigation of the external tank's continued foam shedding problem. Yeah, that, didn't we have a problem with that where, like, one of the reflective tiles shook off of one of the shuttles when they were launching, and then when they came back, they burned up? That happened. Yikes.
Yeah, very scary.
Yeah.
Space debris.
Speaking of debris closer than space, 2007, two news helicopters from Phoenix, I remember this, Arizona television stations KNXV and KTVK collide over Steel Indian School Park in central Phoenix while covering a police chase. There were no survivors. This is the worst civil aviation incident in Phoenix history. Yikes. Wow. Yeah. That's terrifying. Like, it's I don't know, like, if it only takes one pilot not to pay attention, because, like, you know, like, there are some certain things you can do, but, like, you know, you can't see everything, so, you know, if they're coming up from behind, or the pilot's not looking the right way or whatever, not seeing it, I don't know. That's rough.
Talk about chasing a story so much you don't look where you're going. Man.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. 2013, 1,000 inmates escaped from a prison in Benghazi, Libya. Yikes. Holy crap, 1,000. Whoa. That's not good.
Yeah, I've heard some pretty scary stories from former prison guards in Umkeza in that area. Pretty crazy stuff goes on there.
I bet. Well, let's get back to you. There's the last 2013, the horse one.
First, Przewalski's horse, whose wild populations were believed extinct in 1969, is born via artificial insemination at the Smithsonian Conservation Biology Institute as part of a worldwide effort to rebuild the wild herds.
All right, that's cool and all, but, like, I mean, things become extinct for a reason. We might be messing with the natural order of things. I mean, like, you know,
that kind of scares me too. Yeah, the like rebirthing woolly mammoths too.
Well, like, yeah, I mean, like, you know, you talk about bison and especially the dodo. Yes, those are things that humans were directly, you know, in the cause of. So, you know, I would understand that. But, like, if a wild population of animals just dies out in the wild, you know, not because of any interference of humanity or, like, anything down the line, really, like, that we can really blame ourselves off of. If there's this, like, you know, the okapis. If the okapis just become extinct, then that's it. Like, you know, like, why bring them back? Like, you're just going to have them go extinct again. Like,
unless there was some, like, special thing about the horse, like it could run faster or it needs less food to run for longer periods of time.
Yeah.
I can kind of understand that, but, like, at the same time, it's like, who's using horsepower, like actual horsepower, in 2023?
Equestrians. But, like, other than that, like, there's also that one case, I'm not sure if you heard about this, but there's that one bird that re-evolved itself from extinction.
Really?
Yeah. Like, actually, let me look this up here. Bird that re-evolved from extinction. Yeah, here we go. The Aldabra rail re-evolved itself from the dead. The Aldabra rail re-evolved itself from the dead its ancestor, the white-throated rail, migrated east to the Alabama Atoll. These rails likely experienced a population boom on their home island of Madagascar. So, like some species went extinct, and then another species came in and evolved back into that species or something like that.
That's fascinating. Really.
Yeah, like nature finds a way. You know, like, you know, humans...
Yeah, nature finds a way.
Yeah, humans think we're hot shit. No, we're not. We're just shit. Like, so... anyway, let's get into some Israeli history here. 2014, Obama reaffirmed Israel's right to defend itself, but condemned civilian casualties in Gaza. Yep. We also have 2015, Fiat Chrysler fined record $105 million by U.S. regulators over their number of car recalls. Yikes.
Fix it again, Tony.
Yeah.
That's what Fiat stands for.
Ha! I was wondering, because I was just like, hey, does that stand for Ford? No, it's found on road dead or fix or repair daily. But yeah, fix it again, Tony. I like it. And also, like, another one, like BMW, bring money in wads. Or break my windows.
Break my windows.
Yeah. Those are two phrases I heard from a former friend's dad many years ago, back when I was in high school. Wow. Moving on up to 2017, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos briefly became world's richest person at $91.4 billion, overtaking Bill Gates for half a day. Huh. Yeah, now they're both playing second fiddle to Musk.
Yeah.
let's get back to you. You got a Trump one.
In 2017, okay, the Boy Scouts of America Chief Scout Executive Michael Saburo, okay, issued an apology for politically motivated remarks made by me, okay? It was Donald Trump, right, at my rally attended by 30,000 of the Scouts, okay? That's how many people were coming. I know the best people. I get the Scouts to come out even when they have to apologize to me, okay?
Oh my God. You do a better impression than Rhombus,
Thank you.
Ooh, here we go.
Neil Diamond thanks firefighters. In 2018, American singer-songwriter Neil Diamond gives a small thank you concert to firefighters near his home in Colorado. Wow.
Well, that's cool. Too bad he was a whiny little so-and-so about Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Like, remove him from Spotify or I'll pull my songs. Okay, bye. Yeah. Ooh, okay. 2019, another Trump one.
In 2019, President Trump, okay, that's me, calls Baltimore a disgusting rat and rodent-infested mess. Okay, it's dirty, it's terrible, it's awful. And I called Congress Rep. Elijah Rep. Cummings responsible. He's responsible for the mess. He didn't clean it up. Okay, he's terrible, terrible person. Okay.
Drain the swamp.
I have him blocked on Twitter.
Grab a broom because it's a mess.
Yeah.
What else do we got here? 2020, Google decided its employees can work from home until July 2021, the largest tech company to commit to working from home. And, yeah, since then, a lot of people have been reevaluating how they do business. Why are they spending all this money on actual physical locations? You know, office space, rentals, you know, ownership. You know, for work, people can literally just do out of their homes. Why are they coming there? Why are they spending the gas? You know, like, it's crazy. Like, it's wild to think, like, through multiple different reasons, you know, both good and bad and both natural and artificial, like, for the past couple of years and going into the next several, we are seeing, like, a transition in culture and how we just operate, you know, our day-to-day lives, you know, in ways that never before seen and we can never really understand. It's crazy. You know, can you imagine, like, if every redundant, you know, like, job, like, you know, going to an office and all that stuff was switched to homes, like, how much of the city would just become abandoned, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's wild. Like, how many, you know, how many convenience stores and such will go out of business because nobody's going to work, everybody's staying at home? Like, I mean, I kind of experienced a little bit of that when I was a Grubhub and Postmates driver, you know, from 2019 till 2021, and during the pandemic and all that stuff, like, you know, like, that very well could have been, like, how we moved on as a society, like, had everything delivered, like, you know, changed the structure, like, instead of going to the market, having it delivered, instead of going out, have it delivered, like, never leaving the home. Like, that's wild to think that we have the ability to switch to living in pods, like, right now. Like, it's crazy. Anyway, moving on up from that existential crisis, 2020, U.S. Congressman John Lewis became the first black lawmaker to lie in state in the rotunda in Washington, D.C. So, like, he died. So he's not fabricating misinformation. He's like lying in state. So that's pretty cool. You know, that you know, he was there. You know, not that he died, of course, but you know that they put him there. All right, I'm not going to read that pandemic crap. Let's see here. What is this? 2021? Why don't you take this one?
2021, American gymnast and four-time Olympic gold medalist Simone Biles withdraws from the women's team final at Tokyo Games, citing need to focus on her mental health. Also misses her individual finals.
Ah. All right. The one right after that actually is really alarming. Why is that not highlighted? What the hell?
China tests a missile with hypersonic weapon system, later called very close to a Sputnik moment by a U.S. general.
And I would say it's beyond very close. I'd say it is, because we do not have the defense capabilities to fight against that. It is literally flying faster than how our radar systems and defense stuff can pick up and track and neutralize.
Right. Yeah.
It's like we can literally be getting hit right now, and the military wouldn't even be knowing until people start saying, "Hey, shit's blowing up. What's going on?" Like, oh, well, we didn't even see it coming. Frightening. Absolutely frightening. Let's see here. 2021, largest ever.
Largest ever repatriation?
Repatriation,
Excuse me. Of 17,000 looted Iraqi antiquities returned to Baghdad, including items from Hobby Lobby's Museum of the Bible and Cornell University.
Repatriation,
right.
Okay.
Because it's bringing back the patriotism. Got it.
Well, no, it's not patriotism. It's putting them back where they came from. So, like, to repatriate a person is to, put them back at home. Repatriate looted Iraqi antiquities. So apparently Hobby Lobby had some looted Iraqi antiquities. What the hell? That's weird.
Very.
And then why don't you take the last two? So triathlete and then last year.
Triathlete Flora Duffy claims historic first ever Olympic gold medal for Bermuda in the women's event at the Tokyo Games.
All right, Bermuda has a gold medal. Hold on a second. I need a. Here we go. Cheer.
Immediately after it was lost in the triangle.
Oh, rip. Oh, no.
Should have waited for that applause to make that joke.
Well, I mean, the medal is a circular in shape, and it doesn't fit in the triangle, so it would make sense to get rid of it. It goes in the square hole. And then, last but not least, what happened just last year?
Just last year, 170 carat pink diamond, the Lulo Rose, thought to be the largest discovered in 300 years, announced in Angola.
Found in Angola.
Or found in Angola, yes.
All right, well, let's take a look. Let's see if it actually has the Lulo Rose. But let me, did I put this in the underbar? Yes, I did, so get rid of that. Okay, so that diamond, the Lulo Rose. So they discovered it, cool. All right, that shall be the end of today's episode. Once again, please check the underwriter description for any links you may be interested in, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. Go check out our link tree. For your dose of past events daily, we stream every day at 11 in the morning Pacific time, which is 12 Mountain. You're on Pacific time, right, MTM?
Yes.
Okay. 1 Central and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. For all of you and all of us, I am Xander.
I'm MTM.
And you, viewer, are you. And until you catch us tomorrow, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Until then, toodles!